continue worshiping this morning with the reading of our scripture, and as you find John 14, verses 1 to 14, I encourage you to look at the lectionary readings in your bulletin, that you may meditate on the word during the week. And as you find John 14, 1 to 14 in your Bible, or your digital device that I'm using this morning. John 14, 1 to 14. Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you will also be where I am. You know the way to the place where I am going. Thomas said to him, Lord, don't know where you are going, so how can we know the way? Jesus answered, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really know me, you will know my Father as well. From now on, you do know him and have seen him. Philip said, Lord, show us the Father, that will be enough for us. Jesus answered, don't you know me, Philip, even after I have been among you such a long time? Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. How can you say, show us the Father? Don't you believe that I am the Father, and the Father is in me? The words I say to you, I do not speak on my own authority. Rather, it is the Father living in me who is doing his work. Believe me when I say that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me, or at least believe on the evidence of the work themselves. Very truly I tell you, whoever believes in me will do the works I have been doing, and will do even greater things than these, because I am going to the Father. And I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. You may ask of me anything in my name, and I will do the word of God. Amen. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Mother's Day to those I didn't say it to personally. I'm going to read popular scripture from Proverbs 31, beginning with the 10th verse. Sometimes call this scripture the Woman's Manifesto. So I'm going to do my best to do it justice. I'm reading from the New International Version, Proverbs 31, the 10th, beginning of the 10th chapter. 10th verse. A wife of noble character, who can find? She is worth more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing about it. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand, she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers.
She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. This is the word of God for the people. And the title is Call Her Blessed. Let us pray. Almighty God, we pray, God, for all of the mothers that you will bless them in a special way this day. We pray, God, that the message that you deliver will be meaningful to them and their family lives. Diminish my spirit, that what is felt and what is heard and what is understood is a word directly from your lips to all of our hearts. In Jesus' name we pray. So, Mother's Day. I was challenged because I always struggle on special occasions as to whether or not I should preach the occasion or I should ignore the occasion and just preach whatever comes up. Fortunately, I was bombarded with thoughts of motherhood, so I guess that was the Lord telling me I wasn't getting out of this one. I wanted to talk about mothers, but I wanted to do it in the context of our own experiences in the modern day and age. And so I combed through the scriptures trying to find a place to start. I could tell stories of famous mothers in the Bible. In Bible study class, we just finished, you missed it. I'm just going to tell you, you missed it. We just finished a study on the infancy gospels of Jesus, and we were talking about baby Jesus and his relationship with Mary and Joseph, and it was fun. And I thought about having a story just about Mary. And I could talk about who Mary was and the challenge in front of Mary and how hard it was to be the mother of the baby Jesus and what that meant to be mother of this Messiah that was born into the world surrounded by all these flawed and dysfunctional human beings. And then I said, well, maybe that's too much for Mother's Day. Maybe I should focus instead on another mother. I could talk about Naomi, and I could talk about the relationship between her and Ruth, and I could talk about that special bond that sometimes forms between a mother who isn't necessarily biologically connected to someone she's calling her daughter, but who has this wonderful bond of leadership and guidance. But then I thought, no, maybe that's not personal enough. And so then I decided that really the challenge for Mother's Day is that what so many people sometimes wrestle with is that the notion of what a mother is goes beyond the biological. In fact, it's something that is very difficult for certainly us men folk to grasp. The idea of what a mother is and what she brings to the table and what her value is. Whether we like it or not, we've all got mothers. And they're not always the person who birthed us out. They're not always the person we see the most. They're not always the first person we saw when we came into the world. I often joke with my wife that I was the first person to see all of our children, because I was standing there when they popped out. So I got the first. But it is we meet over time, or someone in our family who is not necessarily in the specific position of mother. And then I said, that's it. It's not just about mother per se, in the biological terms, but it's about motherhood, that responsibility, that bond between a woman and a child. But before we get into it, I want to always tell some stories. So, I was combing the internet looking for stories about mothering, and I found so many that I literally would be here an hour if I told them all. So I'm going to tell a couple of stories, and then a personal story, and then we will jump into the scripture. So one day, I don't know if I told this story before, a little girl is sitting and watching her mother do the dishes at the kitchen sink. She suddenly notices that her mother has several strands of white hair sticking out in contrast to her brunette hair. She looks at her mother and inquisitively asks, "Why are some of your hairs white, Mom?" Her mother replies, "Well, every time you do something wrong, every time you make me cry or you make me unhappy, one of my hairs turns white." The little girl thought about this revelation for a while and then asked, "Well, Mama, how come all of Grandma's hairs are white?" One of the great mysteries, perhaps, in the relationship between mother and child is how they survive us. My mother will tell you that, she tells me, I don't know if it's true, maybe it's just for my own benefit, but she tells me I was an easy baby. I didn't cry that much. I was attentive. I didn't throw a lot of fits, temper tantrums. I was a very mellow baby. But I confess, having seen mothers in action, mine included, I can make this statement, I think, emphatically. All of you gave your mother's problems. Every last one of you gave your mother's problems. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you were a problem child, but there was a time when you did something that caused embarrassment to strike your mother, concern to strike your mother, doubt to strike your mother. Maybe it was simply that you didn't come home when you were supposed to. We had a rule at my house, I don't know if you had this too, but when the street lights came on, we were all supposed to come home. Sometimes we didn't quite make it. And that was a cause for concern and a cause. And part of the problem that we have as children is that you don't feel it the way the mothers do. And I can tell you as a father now that my kids don't even begin to grasp what they put me through. And I'm the mellow one in the house. I can only imagine what my wife goes through when they do something that they're not supposed to do. It's frustrating and nerve-wracking, and it literally, maybe not literally, but it can turn a mother's hair white. But mothers are critical and crucial to our relationships. They help us build bonds, help us form relationships, and most importantly, they teach us how to be the parents that we one day want to be. There's a story that was published in Reader's Digest by Fatima Farhat, and she writes, "My cousin was in love and wanted to introduce his bride-to-be to his hypercritical mother. But in order to get an unbiased opinion, he invited over 3 other female friends as well as his bride-to-be and didn't tell his mom which one he intended to marry. After the 4 women left, he asked his mother, 'Can you guess which one I want to marry?' His mother looked at him and declared, 'The one with the short hair.' And he said, 'Yes, how did you know?' And she replied, 'Because that's the one I didn't like.'" Mothers can be critical and difficult and challenging. But good mothers have our best interests at heart. And so that challenges us to understand them more, to want to know them more, to want to care for them more, and as the scripture says, to praise them. This particular scripture passage that I read is often referred to as the passage of the virtuous woman. It is meant to detail and outline in some way the characteristics of the model woman. Now, let me be clear, it is the model woman for the day and age in which this scripture was written. And so I do not necessarily want to suggest that the model woman needs to be out buying fields and sewing clothes and any of those necessary tributes. But I will say that it does point out some key lessons for us about womanhood and, more importantly, about motherhood. Every time I read this passage, I am struck by several phrases in it. The closer you get to the end of the passage, I think the more meaningful it becomes. In the beginning, it says many significant things about womanhood, and I think all the men particularly should take heart. Listen. Pay attention. Because what it tells us first and foremost is that women are meant to be strong. They are supposed to be strong characters. Why? Because it is their strength that enables them to do all of the things that they have to do. I often say this, I think I say this in Bible study every single week. My gift is not multitasking. I don't have that gift. Women wow me with their ability to be doing 17 things at the same time. That takes a level of strength and focus and fortitude that I simply can't understand. Because literally, I'm on the computer trying to teach Bible study, and a little thing pops up on Facebook, and I am stuck. I don't know what to do. Am I supposed to respond? Should I keep talking? And it's difficult, but it teaches me something valuable about the way God made us. I don't have any problem, and I know sometimes this is difficult for people to fathom because they like to focus most specifically on the equality between men and women. And men and women are equal. But I like to focus on the differences. And the reason I like to focus on the differences is because women can, in my opinion, do extraordinary things that I love to see happen. I don't think it in any way diminishes them to say that you can do stuff that I can't do. You multitask in a way that I can't. You bear the difficult assignment of dealing with me. Sometimes you are better listeners than I. These differences are highlighted, I think, in the beginning part of this scripture. Not only are women meant to be strong, but they are meant to be smart. They are meant to be business owners. They are meant to run systems. They are meant to take care of the family. They are meant to take care of the loved ones. They are meant to take care of the poor. They are meant to take care of the lost. They are meant to take care of the children. They are meant to take care of the animals. And that begs the question, what do men do? When you read the scripture carefully, it declares in no uncertain terms that the backbone of the family is the woman. It is the woman who is holding the things together. It is the woman who is leading the way. It is the woman who is setting the example. And so what does the man do? Any men know? But the beginning of the scripture, those characteristics, those descriptions, I am impressed by them, but they are not the heart of the lesson. The heart of the lesson really comes at the end when it gets to the part about the children. I'm going to read it to you one more time. It says, she watches over the affairs of the household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. read that and I thought about it for a moment and I said to myself, her children arise and call her blessed. Why would they arise and call her blessed? What is it about her that they see that all of a sudden enables them or convinces them that they need to call her blessed? And why choose the word blessed? Why not say she is lucky or she is good or she is beautiful? I know women love to hear that they are beautiful. There are a whole lot of beautiful women in the audience right now. And that's something that a child, mommy, you are beautiful. But why would they get up and call her blessed? It says two things about her. She makes it clear in what she does that she has a relationship with God. This isn't about luck. This isn't about me being so smart and so good that I'm doing everything on my own. This is about God, the God that I serve, blessing me. And I want my children to know that I am blessed. They see it in the smiles on her face. They see it in the way that she gets up and takes care of them. They see it in how she loves them even when they aren't acting like they love her back. They see her being blessed. And the second thing it says about her is that she's trained her children. Because her children are smart enough to know what the right compliment is in the right circumstance. They're smart enough to understand that their mother will not be impressed by necessarily some great and elaborate set of words, which is why mothers are often more impressed by the cards that their children write than the ones that they buy. Because in that writing, there is a sentiment. My mother, I'll tell you something about me that you don't know. I write poetry. I've been writing poetry since I was about 7. And my mother likes poems. So much so that she harasses me to no end to write poems every time there is an event. And somebody died. Can you write a poem for sister? I don't even know, sister. Just write a poem anyway. Somebody's birthday. Can you write a poem for they're 3? They don't need a poem. She loves poems to the point that she is always harassing me. Why don't you write a book of poetry? Why don't you put them all together? It's such a waste. And if you know my mother, this is exactly what she sounds like. It's such a waste. You could have written a poem and wrote a book and made $1 million selling these poems all over the country. I don't understand. It just doesn't make sense. And then she usually hangs up the phone. But the reason I write the poems is because something inside of me, emotionally, wants to get out. I'm not an overly emotional person, and I know many of you already know me. I'm not, pouring with emotion. My emotion does come out in my writing and in my sermons and in my preaching, but it doesn't come out, just walking around. I'm not the kind of person just walking around laughing. I got that from my mother. We express it differently, undoubtedly. Because for her, the emotion just pours out in these speeches that she gives me about writing poetry. But for me, it pours out on the page. And I want to get it out. I want to do those things because I think it demonstrates something I learned from my mother. What this woman does for her children is she teaches them the importance of a relationship with God, but she goes one step further and she teaches them critically what it means to love someone. The message I want to give first to mothers and then to all the rest of us is that your children are watching. And I don't say that haphazardly about specifically your children. I mean that about every child. grocery store buying groceries, even if you don't have your kids with you, the children are watching. When you are in your car and somebody cuts you off on the highway, the children are watching. When you are at an event or at a movie theater or walking down the street, the children are watching, and they are learning something about you and about this world that we live in. I don't want to be your mother. Now I don't have to do this. Several reasons. First and foremost, labor. But I don't want to be your mother. But I understand their importance, their significance, their value. That the world is watching them and learning from them what real compassion is. I don't mean to suggest that men are useless. We're not. But we cannot overstate, especially not on this day, what a woman and what a mother brings. It matters because for each of us, she is what we see. We call her mom, but what it means is different for each of us. I wouldn't dare to try to summarize what your mother is to you. You know what relationship you have. You know how she treats you. You know how you feel about her. What you know about her likely defines how you describe her, who you say she is. But the scripture says they called her blessed because what they knew about her told them that she was blessed. What she displayed to them told them that she was blessed. The best thing you could say about your mom this year is that you see her. You see her when she's working hard to do something for you. You see her when she's loving you. You see her when she's caring for you. You see her when she is working behind the scenes. You see her multitasking. You see her picking things up behind you. You see her not complaining about the things she does for you. You see her loving you and loving your neighbor and loving your friends and loving your co-workers and loving those people you bring in and out of your life. You see her. And you know who she is. I don't know what you plan to give your mother this Mother's Day, or your aunt, or your grandmother, or your nana, or your... I had my godmother. She didn't like the idea of getting old, and so she made all of us call her aunt, even though she wasn't our aunt. And I don't know what you're giving any of these women who have contributed to your development and your maturation and your growing and your learning. But I suggest that whatever you do it from the heart. You give her the love and compassion that she gives to you. And if you do that, and you mean it, then she can look in the mirror and declare exactly what you declare